Welcome to the kitchen. Here I have my latest installment in this kitchen. It's a kitchen island, and although, it might not be as orthodox as the other kitchen islands, I think, it's nice, it's portable. For $50, you can either turn this into an office desk or a dining table or a whatever. It's one of those. So we're going to be doing something a little bit differently today. I have a really busy week coming up, so I'm going to be preparing some food in preparation for my busy week because life does not get easier after you graduate. I remember thinking that after graduating, my life would be so chill, like I would just go to work, finish work, come home, and then have my brain become like Netflix mush. But that is not the fucking case. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get cooking. And tie up our hair. Let's put this chair here. I know this is like a weird ass setup, but this is the only way I can imagine like being able to like talk to you while like showing you what I'm doing here, and it just made sense to me. Anyway, today we're going to be making some Korean rolls. If you don't know what they're called in Korean, they're called kimbap. We have some delicious spam. Every year I would get this like itch to go back to school. I know that sounds super weird, but I kind of just want to go back and like learn some shit. But this year, unfortunately, that's not the case for me. I have graduated and I was feeling a little bit nostalgic. I was thinking a little bit about the times that I had in high school, especially whenever I first started out as a freshman. Just so that you can get the full picture of who I was as a high schooler. I came from a really strict, traditional Asian household. And so school was my entire life. If my parents had to wake up every day and go to work so that I could exist, my job was to do incredibly well in education. That was instilled pretty early on whenever I was a child. I'm just going to be chopping some of these vegetables. I have some radish, some Korean radish that I already bought at the store. It was already ready at the store. And then I'm going to cut up some cucumbers. I have some spinach, some spam, and some eggs. I feel like this is really unnatural to be sitting while like cooking. Anyway, going into high school with that sort of a mentality, with that much pressure on my shoulders, and I understand that's like a super privileged form of pressure. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat for the rest of the day or if I have clean water, but those were my concerns at the time. A 14-year-old thinking that I had to cure cancer by the age of 18 or something. I know my parents meant well because they just wanted me to be secure and have like a job. I had like an easy and happy life. But yeah, I entered high school with like this skewed view, thinking that I had to be involved in everything. I remember the summer right after my 8th grade year was pretty, nerve-wracking would be the word for that, or the term I should say. Everyone was scrambling to audition to a sport, and I knew some people who got into basketball because they had been playing basketball their entire lives, and I was like, wow, I don't have a sport that I have been playing ever since I was a child. And so I was like, I'm tall, I'll go join volleyball. Missed volleyball practice. Sorry, volleyball auditions. So the first day of school was coming around the corner, and I have not yet been a part of a sport. My cousin came up to me and said, there's this swim team. And I said, stop right there. I don't swim. I don't know how to swim. I can barely even float. It freaks me out whenever water like crawls into my ears like ew. She says, no, hang on. This is a no-cut swim team. And so I took that quite literally, because then I walked into the swim room that day on the first day of school, and I was like, yep, here I am. Don't know how to swim. We're in the swim team. Of course, no one knew that yet because we weren't swimming the first day. The first day was like icebreakers and like fun shit that like high schoolers do that college students don't do because everyone doesn't give a fuck and you're paying like $40,000 in tuition, so no one cares what your name is. That's besides the point. No one knew that I didn't know how to swim, and I was not ready for anyone to see me not know how to swim. And so the first day that we actually went to the pool and started swimming, I was all the way in the shallow end where like, it was 3 feet deep, and I was already freaking out because then I was like, oh my god, why am I in the shallow end? And all these stupid thoughts, when really I think that the rest of the team didn't give a shit. Like they're like, I don't want to go in the pool. It's cold in the pool, and I don't want to have to like be out of breath and swim laps and hold my breath and practice strokes and all that stuff. So I was the least of their concerns. But in my 14-year-old head, I was like, this is so embarrassing. And it wasn't until maybe 2 months in that I learned how to float. You know, finally when I learned how to swim, it was nicer because I actually got to swim in the deep end with, you know, the rest of the team. And that is the story of how I learned to swim in high school. By the way, I'm cutting the other piece of radish like in rectangles so that it's easier to roll them, whereas like these little half moon thingies are going to be for eating. So back to what I was saying. I was kind of shy. I think I was a little bit socially awkward, but I mean, that's the whole point of school, right? It's to help you socialize and be like a normal human being. Next, I'm gonna slice some cucumbers into little, where is my knife? So I'm gonna cut some cucumbers lengthwise, again, just for the rollability of it. So during my sophomore year, I don't think there was anything noteworthy about my sophomore year. I did end up making it to the varsity team on swim. Our swim team was not that good, okay? Like we would place maybe 4th in league or something, and there are like 7 teams, so we're like average, okay? But making varsity after a year, you know, and I didn't know how to swim at the very beginning of it. It kind of like gave me a little ego boost. It made me really like bratty. I made some rice yesterday, so I'm just gonna use that as the rice for today. These are what the vegetables look like. This is the spam and eggs that I'm gonna use. So yeah, sophomore year wasn't much. I was just a piece of shit. The funny thing about my high school experience is that I don't think I ever took a summer off. Every summer, I believe I took summer school, or I did like a program. So yeah, I was really like no chill in high school. I'm just gonna put, during my junior year, I was feeling really good about myself. I just felt like I was doing well during my junior year. I had like a really good GPA. In my eyes, I thought I was doing well in my academics. Got a little bit overconfident for the summer following my junior year. So the summer after my junior year, I applied to this program at UCLA. It was like a high school summer bridge program where you go and you take like some college courses just to see how it is. What this program was essentially is they'll select a few high school students every summer. I don't know how many students in all honesty, but they'll select some people and then you'll go to their campus and you could take college courses, whatever courses that you wanted to. And I wanted to be a computer scientist because that's just what every Asian household wants their child to be. So I took a computer science course at UCLA this summer right after my junior year. And the first 2 weeks, I was feeling really, really good about myself. Maybe by the second midterm of that computer science course at UCLA, I had gotten my first F ever in life. And I was like, oh my God, I don't think that I could, you know, come back from this. I'll never get that A in this college course, and I sort of just fucking gave up. I never learned how to deal with failure. My parents certainly never expected me to fail, so I was like, yeah, I'm just never gonna do computer science again after that course. And I thought that course was behind me, right? I wouldn't even think about it ever again. This was something I did as a stupid junior in high school, and yeah, I never thought that there would be repercussions. Yeah, that was my junior year. After that course, senior year comes rolling around, and I just wanted to move out, because then I was getting to that point where I was like, I don't want to live with my parents anymore. My parents were really strict. I think mostly because I was the first child. I was a girl as well, and I still am female. Understandably, my parents were incredibly concerned about my well-being. After all, I am their DNA combined together into one organism. So, you know, they have a right over their DNA in some sense, but I am my own person, and eventually they learned to not be so strict. But for the remainder of my high school years, they were incredibly strict. I couldn't really go out, so I couldn't really do senior things. I was doing all these club activities, you know, being a part of the student body. I was planning all these senior events, but I couldn't enjoy them. And that was the part that I regret the most about high school, was that I fucking went to prom my junior year but not because I was on a date and because I felt butterflies with someone who I really liked. I went to prom because I was fucking planning it. Like, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to get accepted to a college far, far away from here because I was like, this is just not the fucking life for me. I wanted to go out, I wanted to be my own person. My senior year, I started like falling off the wagon. I started like ditching class a lot. I ditched way more classes during my senior year in high school than I ever did in college. I felt tremendous pressure from my peers because I felt as though people would judge me based on the school that I had gotten admitted to. High school was kind of a vicious place to, you know, grow up and normalize yourself amongst. Is it just me, or is every high school person like so much fucking nicer after high school? I don't know, maybe we just all realize that it's just so much better whenever we treat people with respect and we're not little pieces of shit who are like full of themselves and like to cause drama. I don't know if you can see, I finished rolling all of these. Not that kind of rolling, but I finished rolling all of these and they look really good. For me, at least. I don't know. I always get so nervous cutting them. Look, my kitchen island is shaking. But yeah, I always get so nervous cutting these because I feel like they're gonna fall. Continue cutting them. Continue cutting them. I feel like I should have sharpened my knife before this. I don't really know what is typically served on the side of kimbap. I've always dipped it in soy sauce or like some spicy soy sauce, and whenever I go to this restaurant they give like a reddish sort of a sauce. It's kind of sweet, so I'm assuming it's gochujang mixed with like some other stuff. And this here is the final result. Thank you so much for watching this video and for putting up with my nasty rants about a time that was way long ago and I should have put in the past already. Now I have in front of me a bunch of food that I could eat throughout the weekend and not worry about having to cook. If you like these sorts of videos where I'm kind of just like cooking or like making food and talking to you, then let me know in the comments. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.